Let him first be shamed. We will take Narnia forever! Die! The great cat is dead!
If it wasn't enough that we have reason to doubt Hollywood's ability to make aesthetically immersive films anymore with just enough grit and whimsy that might keep us from realizing the characters are modern-day actors wielding swords, then something like this only plays with our intelligence and desires, adding ammunition to the audience's steady gun. And while I'll waste no time in detailing how appalling it is that Meryl Streep would even be an option to consider for the voice of Aslan, this is an even greater matter than just Aslan's gender swap, and a dilemma worth expanding on. So, Christian to Christian, writer to writer, C.S. Lewis fan to C.S. Lewis fan, let's talk about it. Hello listeners, DontGetMeStarted with you. Before we dive in, remember to like this video as it helps the algorithm find my content. I post bi-weekly, so please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss any new analyses. Now without further ado, don't get me started. So Greta Gerwig decided to cast Meryl Streep as the voice of Aslan. This is concerning, but are any of us really surprised? Unfortunately, it only seems fitting that a woman be casted as the fictional representation of Christ. I mean, hasn't Rings of Power done enough to completely diminish Gandalf to a magically unstable, incompetent mute with plausible autism? As a Christian, it's pretty apparent that the few well-known faith-based fantasies we have are being handled with a complete disdain for the allegory the stories thrive on. Without the faith, the fantasy would not exist. And yet, modern directors are attempting to extract the lore and legend from what makes it so profound, building new stories on the basis of aesthetic alone without heart or intention. Now, speaking as a writer, there are many reasons this is overall a bad move on Greta's part. Unlike most genres under fiction, fantasy and sci-fi tend to act as a portal for many writers through which we can explore themes within society to their fullest extent in abstract worlds whose structures enhance our message. I know that's a lot to unpack. In essence, what I mean is, abstraction allows for the most effective exploration of extremes. Many writers understand this. Bringing this back to the topic of Greta Gerwig, I have very little to think about the casting other than it sends a clear message to all Christians who would hope for this to be a series they might anticipate that it is in fact not for them. We can expect the new Narnia series to be the theft and repurposing of C.S. Lewis's beloved franchise in order to embody a new age mentality where a symbol of authority and holy salvation shall be a woman. Ignore the mane on this lion, which declares its gender as obviously male. Do not let the appearance distract you from the divine feminine evoked through the voice of this powerful creature. No longer is the land of Narnia guarded by the masculine comforter, but the mighty sound of an aged hag. When she roars, the trees obey, because what else must you do in the face of pure confusion? I am aware now, which I wasn't before, that in comparison to Tolkien's works, only a much scarcer audience has even heard of C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. So if Netflix moves forward with this casting choice, this will be the version of Aslan they are presenting to the new generation of people who have never seen the original movies. Again, concerning. But I must say that the overall attitude of many readers towards C.S. Lewis is one of reluctant appreciation. Quite a few of them already feel betrayed by the unexpected conclusion of Susan Pevensy's character. But even that aside, you can only assume there are going to be readers who'd rather approach the fantasy from an atheistic stance, viewing the magic and overall aesthetic as all they care for. Who needs the religious aspect? Some would rather a lifeless Narnia stripped of its meaning and reduced to just another cool fantasy, because the message behind it all is too confrontational. Why can't we simply have the talking animals, the magical creatures, the pirates, and the Pevensies all without the morality? But there are plenty of stories out there that have just that. My question to Greta Gerwig is, why are you so enthused to change this one? Why not give us a continuation of the stories remaining faithful to C.S. Lewis's intent rather than approaching them with wanton disregard? Greta has produced many well-received and Oscar-winning films that echo a message she is comfortable sharing. Even if this new series turns out to be masterfully directed and visually appealing, the truth is, if this is how they are starting out, I am not going to stick around for any of it, and I would highly encourage fellow Christians to have that same attitude right now. Anyway, how do you feel about this casting? I'm open to disagreements. Am I being too dramatic, or do you agree with my position? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe if you enjoyed my critique. Share and like this video so you can help spread the word and increase this channel's engagement. Thanks for watching.